Hey YouTube, so I'm back for another 31 days of Halloween. Please keep following along. Today we are going to attempt to do The Nun. Very creepy, but we're going to try to do it. Stay tuned, keep watching, and as always, if you're not part of my channel, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow my channel. I do everything and anything, so please just keep watching. Thanks. So The Nun is mostly white. And she has no eyebrows, so we're once again going to attempt to cover up our eyebrows. I think I'm getting the hang of it, but who knows until you've done it like 1,000 times. We're gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna come back to that. While that's drying, I'm gonna do my white makeup. I'm gonna do it off camera because it's just easy, and you guys have seen me do it 1,000 times so far. Okay, I'll be right back. Once again, I'm using my Ben Nye white clown makeup all over my face. I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to rub it into my eyebrows. The thing that I've learned about covering your eyebrows is you have to thicken them up with a paint and hide them. That's the easiest way. I have been using a setting powder to cover the makeup that also helps put layers on and makes it to where you can see the white is more all over and very thick. Yay. So I'm going to continue to do this off camera and I'll be right back. So this is just doing it with one layer. I'm going to put some setting powder on it and then move on to the other eye and I'll come back to that one. So this is how it looks so far. Again, I got to keep on layering it up, but it's working. So today kids are home from school and once again I am not being able to get work done. That's the beast. The game of the beast. That's what it is. But I'm going to attempt to do this one. I wanted to do more today, but it's just not going to happen. But we're going to keep on doing this one. So let's keep on working. I'm still trying to attempt to cover them up. It's getting there. Almost. I've decided this is as good as it's going to get. Now I'm going to move on to making my eyes scary. Yeah. Back to using my Marilyn makeup palette. Again, you have to use water to activate. I've been using this most of the time since doing these looks, so we're going to continue to do what we know. So she's pretty scary around the eyes. We're going to darken those. Be right back. So I'm going to start by eyelining the inners and the outers of my eyes with a mascara pencil. Eyes. I always have a hard time doing the upper lid. Better than none. So that is that. Touch it up over here. That's the thing I hate about putting on contacts. You always end up touching your makeup to get the contacts in, and then you gotta touch it up. So I got my makeup brush that I've been using for paints. And remember, the more water you have, the runnier it is. Because it's the inner part of the eye, I don't want it to be too runny because I actually want it to be very, very dark. Because that's what her eyes are. They're super, super dark. So I was in Myrtle Beach and I went to a pretty cool Halloween store. I'll put a picture up in a few minutes and the location. And I really liked it. I bought a few things from there. But the thing I didn't like was I was really looking for mascara that wouldn't be so powdery, like and would go on thicker. And I got one, but I don't know. It just, to me, powder mascaras go everywhere and anywhere. It was hard to tame like regular paints. I can make sure it doesn't go anywhere if I don't paint on that spot, whereas the other one would just powder off into it. Same thing. Sorry if you can't see. Alright. Now I'm going to move on to the powder. So this was one of the items I picked up at that store. It's a Marilyn. It's a Cake Makeup Blend Black. And again, this is the one that you really have to be careful with, because if you're not careful, it can go everywhere and anywhere. It's supposed to be more of a solid than a powder. They did have powder. She tried asking me which one I wanted, and I knew powder would just be bad news bad, because at some point I know I would have had the powder everywhere and it wouldn't have worked. Try my best not to make it too dark. Blending is key. We must blend the colors up. What movie? If you don't know it, it is Edward Scissorhands when she's trying to blend out his makeup to hide the scars of his face. Blending is key. And then she goes like this. Gosh darn, this stuff isn't working. I made my eyes too big, but I kind of like it. Obviously, it doesn't always have to look the same as what they did, but I kind of like it. So now I'm going to do my nose. Bring it down on the creases just to make my nose look a little bit smaller. And make it a little bit. And again, that's the good thing about powders and not the other makeup, because you can blend this better. Other makeup is more of a solid color. I'll be right back. So I found a sponge and I put a little bit of holes in it just to give it a little stippling look. I'm gonna see what we can do. So I know it's somewhat brownish in the tones that are over in her cheekbones. When you look at other people's work, which I try not to do because I like to do my own looks, it looks like they just did black and white the whole time. But when you actually look at the photo of the nun, she doesn't have just black and white. She does have black and she has white, but she also has some of her undertones, which I wouldn't have done the white as clown light. I would have had my skin underneath, which I didn't know until really looking at it, because I just felt like everybody was doing black and white. Do black and white. But now looking at it, there's undertones of her makeup. So we're just gonna play with this, and I'm gonna make it work to what I think she should look like. Like, I don't feel like she's just black and white now, looking at the pictures more closely. So I'm putting a little bit of green, a little bit of brown in here, softening up that white, because that white is really not white on here. I'm using this palette. I'm using mainly the green and the brown, just to give, like I said, some of the undertones, because there is undertones. I like it. That's the cool thing about these little palettes, because there's 4 colors and you can really blend them together to make, like, this is mainly for like bruises and zombies, but mainly for bruises. I think this one is, yeah, bruise wheel. It's a bruise wheel, but I've used it for a lot of different things and seems to do good. Let's put a little bit more over here, the blue, because it looks more bluish over here, like her tones. I'm happy with this look. I am going to go in and do some of the spider veins that she had in the movie. Use my paintbrush that's more detailed. And I'm going to use a blue and a black to make these happen. I'm going to start off with blue, and then I'm going to go over it with black. Alright, now I want to go over them with black, just to give them a little bit more tone. So I think this is going to be my impression of the nun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I don't know, I feel like this part around the lips needs to be darker, so I'm going to try to darken it up a little. And then we're going to go put in the contacts. I'll come back and we'll be almost done. Be right back. Okay, as always, once you put on the contacts, you have to fix your makeup because that's the game of the beast, unfortunately. It doesn't come right in here. Touch up the black because it came off. Creepy with the eyes on. Now let's put on the headdress and actually be done. I'll be right back. This is my impression. I decided I have the stuff to paint my teeth, so I'm gonna paint my teeth. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm gonna paint my teeth razor sharp, and I'll be right back. So when doing this, you want your teeth to be dry so that it'll stick. So I'm gonna try to attempt to do this. Wish me luck. Alright, this is my impression. How do you like me? Alright, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Thank you, Maddie. Sorry about my phone going off. I'll be right back. Be right back. I gotta go finish being the nun, okay? Do I look good?